Did your parents put you online way before you were ready for it? That is one of the big questions that came out of Washington this morning. There was this big debate in something called, it was a hearing in front of the Senate Judiciary Committee, and it had all kinds of amazing people come in to talk about things. It had this poor mom who had lost her 16-year-old son to cyberbullying. He committed suicide. It had people from from various organizations designed to protect children online. And then really interesting testimony from the chief science officer of the American Psychological Association, who was basically saying that there's this moment in our development between the ages of 10 and 25 years old when you have to go out and connect with people IRL, right? You have to basically go and have an open, emotionally available, vulnerable connection to people in order to properly develop as a social and psychological being. And that, unfortunately, is the moment when so many kids are falling right into social media. And although the research is early and new and establishing causation is really hard, there's very strong correlation between the rise of social media and the incredible rise in the rates of depression and suicide among teenagers. So all of that really fascinating. But along with this hearing came the introduction by a trio of Democratic senators of something called the Clean Slate Act. And it would improve on what is the current state of the art, which is a law written back in 1998 called the Children's Online Privacy Protection Act, COPPA. COPPA basically says that kids under the age of 13 should you have to get parental permission before you can market to them or collect their data. There's some guardrails around it. Now, that is all before the era of social media. It's before the incredible sophistication of data brokers as they got better and better in the last few years because of social media. And what this new law would do would allow not only people to take away the data of 13-year-olds, erase your data from when you were 13 or younger. You're even allowed as a kid to go ask to have that data erased, even if your parent gave permission at the time, which is so interesting and such a sort of indictment of the parents who have, put their children on social media to impress other parents before their kids were ready to even give their consent around that. And you're going to have this generation of kids basically saying, this is the assumption behind this act, that how dare you have put me online before I was, old enough to even understand what that meant. So all of this really interesting in this hearing today, and whether this law, which is based on research that Republicans and Democrats, all parents, I think, can probably relate to and agree on, whether that moves forward in spite of the highly partisan moment we are in, we don't know. But really interesting to see the effect on the brain talked about so openly and so concretely as it was today.